Check this out. When you travel abroad, there are a lot of moving parts. The last thing you want to be is blindsided or your travel plans sidetracked. Here are 7 essential things to be aware of or to do when you're traveling internationally. 1. Some airlines have random security checks at their gate. If you are one of the lucky ones, you will have 4 S's printed on your boarding pass. If you see these 4 letters, be prepared to have your carry-on bag opened and inspected at the gate. They pull out everything, even though you've already been through security. Number 2, due to airport size and plane traffic, some planes cannot come to the terminal, so you will have to ride a bus out to the plane. In this case, being in the earlier boarding groups only get you on the bus first, not the plane. However, you should be able to get on the first bus that departs for the plane. When you board the bus, make sure that you stand near the doors. Do not go to the back of the bus. The first person on the bus is generally the first person off and on to the plane first. In various international destinations, some public transportation terminals close at midnight. Once, when I flew into Madrid, Spain, I was unaware of this. I took the metro from the airport into the city. By the time I got into the city, it was way past midnight and the terminal was closed. I was stuck inside with no exit and no one who spoke my language. The various gates that allow you to move from one train line to another were all locked. I literally had to toss my luggage over barriers and climb over security gates just to get out of the terminal. Once I was outside, I didn't even know which way to go. I couldn't grab a taxi to get to my hotel. It was a literal nightmare at midnight. Number 4. I learned the hard way that you cannot only take the second leg of a flight. When traveling home from Berlin, there was a pilot strike and there were no flights to the US for a full 3 days. The airline had rebooked me to fly from Berlin to Paris on a different airline and from Paris to Los Angeles. I didn't want to spend another 3 days in Berlin, so I decided I would just fly to Paris myself and then pick up the second leg on my flight from Paris back to LA. After 3 wonderful days in the city of love and light, I had a rude awakening at the airport. I learned if you don't board the first leg of your flight, they cancel the whole thing. I did not have a flight home. After literally running from one side of the airport to the other, I finally got the 2 airlines to talk and agree to rebook my flight home. Barely made it. When flying back to the US from international travel, if you have a layover in a US city, you must retrieve your checked bag and go through customs in the first US city. Number 6, let's talk about global entry and TSA pre-check. When returning from Europe to the US, if you have a stopover in Canada, please know that US Customs is actually on the Canada side, not the US. If you're trying to get an interview for global entry or TSA pre-check on your way back to the States, it must be done in Canada. Number 7, did you shop too much on your trip? If you have more to pack than you have space available, do not buy more luggage. Just get a box instead. Now make sure that the dimensions of the box will meet the requirements and fit in the overhead bin. Pack only your clothes in it so that it will be easier for you to carry. Carry it onto the plane and check your carry-on luggage instead. Since you may be paying extra for the checked bag, why at the expense of buying another piece of luggage that you probably don't even need? And remember, every country is different. Some countries only allow one small bag of liquids that total 100 milliliters, not allow you to bring in multiple 100 milliliter bottles. And finally, pack your patience, as things are done differently around the world.